couple of pieces of chicken. But I was just talking about, Liz, if you want to pick that one up, this is our newest piece, the double burner grill pan.
Oh God, she's so cute.
And we were talking about how, you know, not everybody likes to grill 12 months out of the year. But also, I don't know if any of you have a husband or a male figure in your house that says, I'll help cook dinner. And the minute they walk out, you hear, your mother, your plate. Dog's pan on the grass, I just said. That's not helping me. So I'd rather not even ask him. I'd rather stay inside and do it. So on a single grill pan, that's for 1 or 2 people. How many of you have a family of 4 or more? Now that's the pan you want to get your hands on, because this is going to work on a gas top stove, glass. It'll work on electric coils. It'll work over 2 burners. And what's nice is this is restaurant quality cookware. I'm going to show you with a little demonstration. All of you have this in your kit, right? Right? Yeah.
And if you wanted a whole glass full, none of them would have come out.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the Canadian saute. How we're going to start here on Donna and pass it around. The ice is already melting. And that's because the technology in our cookware is that it's going to heat evenly and it's going to cook your food thoroughly. So I don't know if you've ever remembered, some of you are too young for this, but the infomercial where you put your frozen meat on something,
Oh, I remember
half
that.
the time. That's the kind of material this is made with. And it's got hard anodized aluminum in it, and that's just a big fancy terminology for it's going to make you a better cook. Now, as you pass this around, is that pan hot?
No, it's cool.
But what's happening to the ice?
Melting.
How cool is that? You can make, how many of you make eggs in the morning? You could do anything with this pan. You could do eggs, grilled cheese, you could do pulled apart monkey bread, you could do it in a sweet or a savory, you know, recipe. You can Google anything like that. But those pans are oven safe to 400 degrees. So let's go back to the grill pan. And whether you're cooking for 2 or a crowd, let's talk about some of the things you can do on it. Now we talked about the obvious. What kind of meats would come out great on that? You just did what?
Chicken.
How long did it cook?
4 minutes. 2 minutes on each side.
2 minutes on each side. So how many of you cook chicken breast 2 minutes on each side? And what's the way to get it to cook evenly? What did we use to make sure the chicken didn't get dry on one end?
This little guy, our little meat tenderizer.
So how many of you have a chicken breast, a raw chicken breast, and you notice it's got that breast, right? It kind of slopes down. And the reason why the chicken comes out uneven because this has to cook longer than this side. So you put it in a Ziploc bag. You can season it or not, and then you pound it with the meat tenderizer. It's also reversible if you want to steak. Isn't that great? So that way your food's going to cook quicker. It's going to be bigger because again, I'm Weight Watchers. I want my volume. And when you reverse it, you can tenderize steaks for the marinade. So how many of you would like to get your meals prepped at the beginning of the week so that when you come home, the kids are running around, you're tired from work, you can season your meat and tenderize it or flatten it and then freeze it. So that way when you take it out to defrost it, it's already seasoned. And you're not, where's my Italian seasoning? You know, you can prepare your meats that way ahead of time. Sound good? So we can do meats, we can do panini sandwiches. I know that as a mother of 2 teenagers, I have cold cuts every Friday ready to be tossed in the garbage. I call those questionable status cold cuts. They have a little bit of a what on them?
With a
Shiny coating.
Yeah. And you're standing there going, I'm not a chance in
They're
heck
not
I'm eating
smelling
it.
so hot.
However, we melt some cheese on this, it's a whole different ballgame. You'll never know. So what would you put on a panini sandwich?
ham and Swiss and mayo.
Okay, excellent. And what could you do to the mayo to give it a little kick?
And
One of your seasonings, probably.
like the Dijon mustard.
Or you could add a little garlic even, right? To make that fat-free, gross mayo.
You want to
Not
make a killer
interested?
panini though? Don't butter your bread. Put
Don't butter your
mayonnaise,
bread.
put mayonnaise on it.
And why is that?
Seasons it more, and it'll actually keep the moisture inside the bread while allowing it to crisp on the outside.
For the panini, you mean?
Oh God, for grilled cheese or for anything.
grilled
Do you think I got this big eating salad, girlfriend?
No, I just never heard that. I'm like,
People with
mayo?
mayo?
Lots of people do. Yeah, that's why I said.
Mayo?
Okay, so if you don't want to use mayo, another alternative is a little bit of olive oil, put a little Italian seasoning, a little crush of garlic. That's awesome if you make it a panini with tomato. and-
Sliced
And,
basil. Okay. Oh,
you're
I'm
going to
good.
be singing, you're the wind beneath your own wings. You come up with a panini sandwich like that on a Friday. It takes no time at all. You can do pork chops on there. I was just telling Donna, pork chops were the one meat that I stayed away from because I ruined them. Whichever way I turned, I would dry out a pork chop. First of all, a pork chop is not a chop unless it's at least 1.5 inches thick. Any thinner than that, put it back. You're wasting your money. Better on the bone, but if not, at least make sure it's 1.5 inches thick. You sear it 2 minutes on each side on medium-high heat. What does searing do?
Seals the juices.
Okay, so while you're doing that, time it. Don't go make a bed, put in a little laundry. That's not 2 minutes. Okay, that's an Italian 2 minutes. You want to preheat your oven to 375. While it's searing, in a bowl, cup of chopped up pineapple, crushed, 1 red bell pepper, cut up, a little bit of garlic, because garlic goes in everything, in breakfast and lunch and dinner. And then, you know those little packets of duck sauce you have left over from King Lot? Get rid of them. Put them in there. Mix it all together, throw it on the pork chops. 10 or 11 minutes, you have the most succulent pork chops. It's got a sweet and sour sauce. And you're calling your husband to come and bring home 2 loaves of bread.
What'd you do after the pineapple juice? I don't know why I'm
Crushed
pointing outside.
Crushed pineapple, 1 chopped up red bell pepper, a little bit of garlic, and the whatever duck sauce you got left over. Just squeeze out the packets.
Oh.
I know.
And I'm Jewish and I'm gonna make pork
So
now.
you have started that on top of the stove. You have started that on top of the stove. And you have finished it in the oven. And you're gonna put it right on top of this hot pan. And,
Oh, look it.
Oh, boy.
oh, sorry.
Now,
Sorry.
just bring it.
That's fine, just bring it. Now, it's not the perfect chef. It's not the perfect chef.
I love that one.
It's the messy chef. Okay, so sometimes you might have a little bit of spill, no big deal.
Nothing wrong.
So now this might not be, we're just gonna stop in the middle of our cookware talk for a second. This might not be to everybody's texture, to their liking, so we're just gonna give it a little zhuzh.
You want that tinier, by the way?
No, it's fine. We're gonna give it a little zhuzh, and you
So
can
this
tell
goes
it's
together.
cooked, right? Does that look cooked to you guys?
Yeah.
All right, but I'm just gonna leave the lid on just for another 2 or 3 minutes to give it, it comes up to everybody's liking, rather than al dente, because I don't like it like that. We're gonna have it the way I like it. Okay, you gotta be funny in your show if you can. So going back to the grill pan, what's nice is you have to have a family of 4 or more. You can now take boring old ingredients and make a fabulous dinner. For instance, peppers and onions and chicken. Boring, right? You take a little bit of our bell pepper and herb rub, stick a little mayonnaise in it, put that on the inside of some bread that you've now grilled on the edge of that grill pan, and you have your chicken and your peppers and onions grilling on the other side with your, what did you use? The press?
So grill press.
And that enables it to cook 2 minutes on each side and give you that nice grill mark. And now you have a, we call it a grilled chicken and pepper party sandwich, but there's no party, it's dinner.
There's a party in your mouth.
Party in your mouth. Well, that's, let's go.
I've
to
never
grilled
heard
pizza.
things like that in
Let's
my
go to
life.
grilled pizza. How many of you could stop off and get a $3 dough from the pizzeria? Just make sure they oil it. Ask them to do it. So if you see this big floury concoction coming at you, ask the guy, just put a little oil on it for me. They'll throw it in a tin. When you get home, you stretch it out, put it on the grill pan, 4 or 5 minutes on each side. I cannot even tell you, whatever you put on top of this dough now is heaven. Put fresh tomato and mozzarella, a little bit of fresh basil. You can make an Italian salad pizza.
My son did one the other day with the Philly cheesesteak.
Crazy. You just want to make sure you're lifting that pizza out before you cut it.
Yeah. 'cause you-
Now that's costing you $5 to make. You order a pizza like that in the pizzeria, what does it cost?
That's $20.
And you know what? Your family sees you cooking. They see you cooking. And that's a big deal. Because we can't all continue to eat takeout. We can't make these other people richer while we go broke. Because what happens? How do we wind up on the drive-through line? We either don't have the,
Money.
or the
Tools.
Cool.
tools or the ingredients to make dinner. So we wind up on the drive-through line. And then I don't know if this happens to you, but I eat Burger King and then I go, oh well, I ruined the day, so let's go to Carvel. And then the next day I go, oh, I had Burger King Carvel, so I ain't walking today. What's the difference? You got it? I quit my gym membership. And that's how it all starts, right? And that's 20 pounds ago. So why do that? You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to have your money. But if you could do dinner for 8 people in that, if you could do breakfast, put a pound of bacon on there, because that sucker's going in the oven in 400 degrees. And it's got a little spout on the edge, on both edges to get the grease out, but your bacon doesn't sit in the fat. You could do 8 grilled cheese sandwiches. Now, I know you have a little boy, and he's going to be the Kool-Aid, you're going to be the Kool-Aid mom. All the little boys are going to be at your house very soon, right? In a couple of years. You can make all of these kids grilled cheese sandwiches at one time.
This one comes with 2 presses, right?
You could buy it like that or separately, and that incidentally is a great item to get as a host. So how many of you, looking around, you're like, oh my goodness, my order form is already looking very crowded. This is a perfect reason to get what you can't live without tonight, host a show with me, and I'm gonna get that for you for free, half price or 60% off. But that pan is a staple in your kitchen. So sometimes you might look at a price of a pan and say, oh, you know what, I don't really want to spend $200 on a piece of cookware. However, I'm going to ask you guys to think of something. as females, we have been very guilty of going to the store at one time or another, whether we could afford it or not, and purchase something like a nice leather jacket, a pair of boots, maybe a nice handbag, and chances are a season or two passes, and where do we find it? You can't. It's either at the top of the closet, you gave it away, sold it at a garage sale,
Well, you don't peed on it.
and, you know, and again, I don't know anybody who's hiding a girl pant from their husband in the trunk of a car, but I know some of you have waited until he's gone to work to bring in the shoes. You take a price like that with a lifetime guarantee, looking around, I think all of us get at least 20 years out of it, you're talking about $10 a year for this pan to put dinner on the table for you and your family. When you break it down like that, you gotta staple the receipt to your will. All right? So let's talk about the rock crock. Now you cooked a pound of pasta in here. Did you boil water? What'd you guys do? Explain your station.
2 cans of chicken broth
Okay, and how'd you open the cans?
with the nifty can opener.
All right. Is that the kind that leaves you with the jagged edge so you cut yourself?
No, it does not. It cuts around the top so you won't cut yourself.
So you know you guys are gonna buy a can opener, and you're gonna call me during American Idol, and you're gonna get my answering machine. You're gonna say this is broken.
I can't get it
And no way on the back of that receipt says call me, but you're gonna do it. So please remember, it mounts on top. It does not mount on the side.
Okay.
All
And you
right? I
gotta
kid
turn
you
the
not.
thing.
My husband, I'm doing this how long? He still goes, freaking can opener! Post a show, Tony. Okay?
When I first started with that, I didn't know you had to turn it back to get it off. So I'm like walking around the house for like 20 minutes and I'm like, Mom.
So you took a pound of pasta, a little bit more than a pound. You broke it in,
Yeah.
and then you poured.
Chicken broth in 2
All right.
cans. Yeah.
So how long did it take to cook?
16 minutes.
So did you go 16 straight, or you broke
8
it?
and stir and 8.
Okay, and then while it was cooking, we'll get to that in a second. The rock crock is the latest, greatest invention. It's called a vessel. We're not even going to call it a pot because calling it